Hi everyone. It's Tuesday night. It's post-match. I know it's 48 hours later, but at least it's better late than never. And it's that big seven thing that keeps popping up everywhere. So I hope you're all right. All you Reds out there, I hope you're all laughing your heads off and doing handstands and backward flips and everything else. And uh, I'm going to bring on Dennis Paparak all the way from Miami. He's there in Tampa, Miami, where it's like 70 odd degrees or 80 degrees or whatever, while I'm sitting here freezing with this imitation fire behind me. So, and as I said before, this is the tactics of Manchester United that went up in flames, especially in the second half. The tactics, did they have any tactics? Anyway, I'm going to bring in now. There he is, Dennis Paparak. Hello, Dennis. How are you?
Doing great, Frank.
How did your gig go?
Oh, we had a great time despite the snow and loss of power until Saturday afternoon.
Whoa.
Fortunately, it was just out in the suburbs, but where the gig was in downtown Detroit, everything was fine. And we didn't go on until after midnight. So technically Sunday morning, and didn't get to bed till about 4. So I was doing good just to get out of bed and able to have brunch with some friends that had the game on.
Game.
Yeah, so I was able to watch it before I hopped a plane back to Florida to thaw out.
So you're seeing it then? You're seeing the game?
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. And this is what it's all about, you see. This is the inquest, shall we say, into the game. And what you see, I tell you, we'll go through the team. And we had Alisson. I think he only made one save, I think, through the match. And that was it. But you had the back four. So Ali, no goals against. Ali's there. And you've got the back four now. So what do you think of Trent? How do you think he played?
Well, I mean, yeah, they had a cut. There was the one shot across the mouth of the box there that kind of scooted a bit wide. Rashford, he couldn't really get a good toe on it, so that was just an easy scoop. I mean, other than that, he really didn't. I mean, there's the one play where it got a little skittish there in the box, and fortunately, the guy skied it with Robbo standing right in front of him. So, I mean, overall, again, not too much to do. Did enough to deal with whatever did happen to come his way. But to me, the back four, Konate being back, was critical. I think, and I hope he stays healthy because, it's always a mystery with Joe back there. You're wondering what he is or isn't going to do while he is back there. So, hello, Brian. But yeah, Konate, I think as long as we can keep him healthy and with him and Virgil really, is the two center backs, that's going to be critical to keep guys off the score going forward and keep those clean sheets.
Well, yeah, absolutely agree there because when Konate come back, and Virgil, don't forget, he's been out for 5 or 6 weeks as well, injured. Yeah. So those two together, it gave a hell of a lot of confidence. This is my opinion. It gave a hell of a lot of confidence to Fabinho. And that was one of the best games I've seen Fabinho play. He was everywhere. He was breaking up play. He was taking the ball. And don't forget, leading, I don't know what goal it was. I always get mixed up with the goals like everybody else. When he just lofted the ball over to it was, I'll tell you what it was. Excuse me. I'll tell you whose goal it was. It was Nunez's goal, an headed goal. When he lofted the ball over Fabinho to Mo Salah. Mo Salah tried to cross it. It rebounded. It rebounded, and Harvey Elliott just hit it in. And that's when Nunes scored the header, his first header, by the way. I think it was his first header, yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if young Harvey there, if that was, if he was just turning around and just said, "The heck with it, I'm gonna have a go at goal," and just Nunez happened to be in the right spot at the right time, because, I mean, there's a bit of power behind that ball that Elliott put in for Nunez to be Johnny on the spot. It was just incredible. Whole afternoon like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say, Brian, are you coming on, Brian, or are you working? He might be working and having a sly look at his phone or something, saying hello to us. So
he's even 3 hours further behind me, so that's 8 hours behind you.
Yeah, okay, Brian. If you want to come on, or unless you're working, let me know, or let Jason know. It'll be great. You'll have a link there. So there's Charlie Cairns, even in Frank Dennis and all the gang. Hello, Brian. Charlie. And Brian Edley. Hello, buddy. Hello. It's just a great feeling that we've got. Before the game, and I know that you were playing a gig with the Incurables. Obviously, you must have had that on your mind. But also, the biggest game in world club football, and millions upon millions watched it. Millions, I'm talking about, around the world. So you must have been thinking about the game as well. So did you think of this particular scoreline? 7-0. 7 without reply, and this is the most incredible scoreline ever to think of, even to see, even to witness a 7-0 drubbing of Manchester United, our biggest rivals. They are our biggest rivals.
I mean, they haven't had anything like that happen to them since, 1931? So, but I did go back earlier today, and through the wonders of technology and YouTube, going back and looking at the Manchester United, all the guys that have their little chat shows and everything, and went back and looked at the 5-0 and the 4-0 reactions and compared them to what happened, their reactions on Sunday. And so it was so similar, and just to see him go through it again. And during the 4-0, there were a couple of fellas that they broke down after it became 3-0, and they started doing charades of the different, guess the Man United players. And one of them was Bruno Fernandes. And again, he's sitting on the ground with his arms up. We saw more of that again from him on Sunday. I thought that was a bit of a shame. For the captain of their club.
He's outrageous, though, isn't he? Really, Bruno Fernandes. He's outrageous. He was a disgrace there. He was a disgrace, and you can't say you can't give him any credit. And he was captain of the team. He was captain of the
Jamie Carragher doing something like that during some of the leaner years, or even Stevie, or anybody from Liverpool with that armband. They don't, there's a certain thing, leadership quality that you have to exert, especially when the times are bad. And what Fernandes did was an absolute disgrace.
Of course it was. Don't forget, he was the captain, and for the captain to show, and don't forget, he was trying to get himself, off the pitch. He wanted to be subbed. Your captain stays with your team, but you blame Ten Hag for that as well. He's got to take some of that blame for them. But I'm not interested in them. I'm just interested in our team, to be honest.
I get that, but I will be very interested to see, because he did lay his hand on the linesman if the FA is going to do anything about it.
He pushed him. That was after Trent, tackled him, and that was it, and he just pushed him out the way because he wanted to take the throw in. He wanted to take the throw in, and he pushed him in the back. But anyway, let's just see how it goes. And Brian Edley says, "Hello, Frank, Dennis, and everyone. Trent had a monstrous game, but that one chance he gave Fernandes, it still shouldn't happen. But what a performance from everyone. We won on Saturday. Then we definitely have turned a corner and won't be going back. And that's what Lynn Ellis said. Have we turned a corner? Have we turned it? And I'll be talking about that a little bit later on. And as Brian Farnell says, beat them by a touchdown. We'll take it that 11 times out of 10. Well, I don't know.
For two.
Well, I don't know about NFL, the American football. Beat them by a touchdown. What does that mean? Beat them by? Does that mean just overpowered them, or
in American football, when you score a touchdown, you get 6 points, and then you do an extra spot kick for the additional point. So it's always 7 total points per touchdown.
Oh well, that's fine then. That's good. As long as I know about that, because if you wouldn't have been there, I wouldn't have had a clue what it meant, by a touchdown. So thank you for sorting this out for me and the rest.
Well, this encapsulated, though, what we talked about a couple of weeks ago, though, Frank. Guys coming back healthy, Nunez and Gakpo getting time to develop, learn, train with the club, and everything is now, we get Diaz back soon. And like I said, Konate, please stay healthy in the back.
If we stay injury free, let's put it this way: if we stay injury free, especially with our back four, especially with Virgil and Big Ibu, if we can stay injury free with those four, we've got a fantastic chance of getting up there. And yes, I do believe that we can, or we have turned a corner. I really do believe that. As people are saying, have we turned a corner here? I hope we have. What's your take on turning a corner now? I think Dennis is froze. He's frozen Tampa. 80 degrees and he's froze.
Yeah.
You froze on me there.
I'm still trying to thaw out from the snow in Detroit. I think, we just, Mo said it the best. We got this coming up. We're confident it's ahead of us, and just take care of our business and win games going forward. And we can't have a letdown against Brentford. It just can't happen.
It's Bournemouth, isn't it?
That would be gutting.
Yeah.
Because it has Palace.
We can't afford to. We can't afford to. No, we can't afford to give up now. And Brian Headley says, lads, forgot my one negative note regarding Trent, but this man could save us millions. He could walk into that midfield, right side, so easily. Seen a lot of Stevie G in him on Sunday. Strong and angry, pure class. Well, I go along with that, actually, because he was great. So we'll be coming to midfield. Robertson plays. He was brilliant, Robertson, right through the game. He was absolutely brilliant. And that pass for the first goal, and we'll be getting to Gakpo later on. We'll go through, the defence, then the midfield, and then the forwards. But that pass by Robertson, absolutely world class. It was a fantastic pass. And then the way he took it, Gakpo. But as I said, we'll be coming back to them. So let's see the midfield now. Let's have a look at the midfield. You had Henderson, Fabinho, Harvey Elliott. So what did you think when you seen that midfield? What did you think? Let's be honest, before the game, what did you think?
I was kind of surprised that he put Elliott in there. I thought maybe he'd go a little bit more senior, but I think
you're right, because
again,
it's not just you, Dennis, who thought that. I thought that. Everybody else thought that this was a game not for Elliott. And yet, look how he turns out in the second half, especially. He was immense. He was immense, young Harvey Elliott. I think he grew up then. I think that was the game that he grew up in, if you know what I mean.
Just definitely put in a shift. Non-stop running, movement on and off the ball. Every time I looked up, he seemed to be somewhere within the frame on the television. But yeah, just a great performance from the young man. Huge step forward for his development.
It's a good example that you gave, in every frame of the telly, as you're watching it, because he was there, he was always involved during that particular game. What did you think of Henderson's performance as well?
Well, obviously, played a big role in putting the ball in to help with the goal. I think that's the thing about Hendo at this point in his career. Again, to contrast it to what we saw out of Fernandez, just class, leadership, steady on, just, pointing, helping guide, what's going on. And, he definitely was truly the captain on Sunday.
Yeah. He did a captain's job, didn't he?
Yeah.
Funny enough, like when I get the show last week, I said Henderson must play because he's had so much experience playing against Man United, and we needed his experience there. I said we need his experience on Sunday.
Yeah.
So that's what I said about Henderson, and boy, did he give a performance of a captain's job. He really did. He was immense, actually. He was immense. So, and there's what Brian says, Fernandez showed us who he is. Believe it. Dead on, Dennis.
Thank you, Brian.
It's nice, isn't it? So, at least he's listening to what we're actually saying. So.
And just again, Fabinho. Oh gosh,
I think
probably his best game in months.
Yeah, that I was talking to people after the game, and I said, I think I was talking to Brian as well, when Big Ibu and Virgil, consolidated that defence, it gave Fabinho a hell of a lot of confidence, because Fabinho in recent games, what he'd been doing, he'd been trying to cover for the defence and trying to cover for midfield. And this is what I've been saying all along, and everybody's been critical of him. But he's had no one behind him. He's had Gomez and he's had Mata, who were terribly out of form. And that showed the form of Fabinho, because he didn't know who to cover for. He was covering for them. He was trying to feed as well and break up play of the opposition and feed the midfield. But you see Fabinho back to his old best, because he had Ibu and Virgil at the back of him, in the centre. The two greats, two world-class centre-backs.
Yep.
And that solidified the defence. And that gave Robbo and Trent, the freedom as well. Yeah. There was more solid. And don't forget, this was Manchester United. Manchester United are supposed to be these, up and coming, Man United are back. Yeah. Man U are back. And we destroyed them. We totally destroyed them. And Fabinho, they really thought, though, Man U, that we could get at Liverpool the way they've been playing. But they forgot about Konate and they forgot about Virgil, because Virgil had been out for weeks. Like, like Connate, Big Ebu, he's been out for months, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And
And
then,
another thing too, they never, all the criticism that Trent has taken for his defensive play this season.
yeah,
You think about it, they never really put any pressure on that side to put him in any sort of awkward situation. So he
yeah,
was free to just go and do what he does to press the ball up the pitch, because I think he knew that they weren't going to have anybody that was going to pressure on that side. I think that gave him the latitude to run a bit more forward and not have to worry about tracking back as much, because there was nobody. They weren't really doing anything to move the ball and put any real pressure, especially in the second half.
no,
Honest, they
no,
didn't do anything.
no. And then what you had as well is, well, Charlie Cairns, that's Charlie Cairns says, we'll be going on to that, Charlie. We'll be going on to the forwards in a moment or two. Gapco has left a gape painting frame. What's that? Take no notice of that. Take no notice of that. Take no notice of that. Brian Headley says, after Madrid away, we have Chelsea away, Arsenal home, City away. And two of these, we will be at home. And,
I'm just pulling up the fixture list right now, and I'm sorry, I meant Bournemouth, and I said Brentford earlier. Those type of games coming off a big win like that, especially away, you don't, like I said, Mo nailed it on the head. You just don't want to be complacent. Look what happened, to the other guys. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see once they get through, that little run over the next 2-3 weeks. Yeah.
Don't forget, we had an international break, and we're supposed to play Fulham.
Yeah, I saw that. They
Fulham
rescheduled it.
being cancelled, postponed because of they're still in the FA Cup. So
yeah,
I think we'll have a long break, a sort of a long break, rather than 2 matches a week.
And I have to go back, and if I can find the stats to pull up and see, but if it might just be me, but I always feel like we always come out a little flat off the break. So to have to go to City.
I don't like these international breaks, I'm being honest. I think they're a waste of time. I really do. But yeah, as Charlie Cairns says, Gapco's apprenticeship is over. He's fully fledged player now. And that's what Charlie meant. And absolutely right, because we'll be going to him now in a moment. Charlie was, he just says, evening lads, evening Charlie, hope you're well. So, okay, let's get on to the forwards.
Oh, God.
Let's go from the right through, okay? So let's take Mo Salah, his performance.
15 out of 10. I mean, besides the brace, assists, would track back, help out when if he needed to. Again, just another one that just strapped him up, put the shift in, and really was all over the pitch all day.
Absolutely, because when you actually see Nunez's, Gapco's second goal, when he took the ball and he ran with it, he just ran with it, didn't he? And he ripped the United defence to shreds. Yeah. He ripped them to shreds. And he put one of the lads on his backside, didn't he? Or really, he just didn't know what way he was going. And the ball, precise ball, he just went right to him, and he just ran onto it, Gapco. He knew where he was going.
Yeah.
And this is the beauty now of the likes of these lads. They're getting to know each other. They're getting to know about their play. I remember Mo saying after the Everton game that Gakpo knew where he was running and where he was putting the ball. No, it wasn't. It was Nunes. I'm sorry. It was Nunes. So they're starting to gel together where they are and what balls to play, and at that precise time, and that's where on Sunday, where Gakpo was running. Don't forget he kicked it off, didn't he? He started it off. Well, Henderson got it to him.
Yeah.
Got the ball to him. He just ran with it, and he put a fantastic ball out to the wing. Mo just ran onto it, ripped the defence apart, the United defence, and Gakpo kept running. He just kept running.
Yeah.
And Mo seen him. He looked up for a split second and just put it there neatly, and he just lifted it over to get.
And that's what I was going to say. I mean, just that quick glance. He didn't have to stare him down to telegraph the pass. He just took that quick little glance and immediately knew where he was going to go with the ball because he knew where Gakpo was going to go to get it. And just and both the angles of Gapco's goals and Bobby's, 9 times out of 10, we'd be either, squeaking them just wide or right into the keeper. And Gapco's 2 goals were just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Just those tight angles. It just it's so refreshing to see that.
It is so refreshing, and I'm glad you said that because we've been missing that right through the season. And when we bought Cody Gakpo, and we were screaming out for a midfielder, but anyway, he came, and he wasn't like, his first few games, he wasn't doing anything at all. He wasn't doing anything at all. And as fans were saying, let him find his feet. Let him find his feet first because it's the first time in the Premiership. And other people, myself included, I was saying, well, look at Fernando Torres. He'd never ever played. And look at him. He hit the ground running. Luis Suarez hit the ground running. You see, so, and even Coutinho, they hit the ground running. But Cody didn't seem to, he was just lost. He was just lost. And the last few games, you see him coming into what he is. And those 2 goals, we know what he is now. Yeah. We know what he is. He's a very clever player. Not only that, he takes his chances brilliantly because those 2 goals, when you think back to them, absolutely fantastic. Fantastic goals.
Yeah, and we mentioned this before. When you start bringing in these new guys, people expect it to be like a video game. You just click a button, and in goes one guy, out goes the other guy, and that's just not human nature most of the time. Like you said, there might be a couple of guys that just get in instinctively, they do it, boom. And other guys just need more time. It's all part of the human element of the game. And too many people want to play video game football, and it just doesn't work that way.
No, not at all. But, Gakpo, as I said, Mo Salah, he was absolutely brilliant the way he was. And he's, his goals as well. His goal. Do you know his second goal? People, people say that it was a scrappy goal and whatever. Well, yeah, let's say that it was a scrappy goal. I'm just talking about his second goal here. That ball came out to him. It ricocheted to him, really. Mm-hmm. And he just hit it first time. I forget who was standing next to him, and he didn't realise how that ball came out. And he, that's the quickness of Mo Salah. He just hit it. Bang, goal.
Yeah.
He just hit it. Forget what goal it was, like, But who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, they all count. But that's the thing. There was a lot of really, because they were so sloppy in the back, that ball starts pinballing around. I mean, credit to our guys for instinctively just either turn, make a quick turn, or in Mo's case, the ball just comes right to your foot and just blasting in the roof of the net or whatever.
Well, that's it.
Guys for
It
having
was.
presence in front of the net.
It was like that. It was like his first goal when the ball came to him, and he just did it. He just did it. And it was incredible. It was incredible the way he just hit it. Bang, get in there. So this is what Mo Salah's all about. You can't leave him alone. And he's super fit. He's super fit, the lad. I will tell you why he's super fit. He hardly gets injured, touch wood. He hardly gets injured, ever. He hardly gets injured, ever. And, so this is it, as I said before, if we keep them all free from injury, especially Mo, because Mo now, he's just broken another record, hasn't he? He's broken a record. He's broken Robbie Fowler's record.
Did he get both of them with his right foot?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's another thing. He always had that knock on that he can't score with his right foot. Well, guess what?
Yeah, he can. He can. He can score. Right.
Yeah, Brian kind of alluded to what we were talking about, the Bournemouth match, facing a much lesser opponent and meaningless away that's sandwiched in between fixtures against two bitter rivals. Yeah, that's the concern. I think the players and the gaffer will be really conscientious of that, and we'll see what they do on the training ground to address it. And they'll show
well, that's you see, if you look at it this way, the confidence Liverpool had going into the Man United game, by the way, they were confident because of all the clean sheets that they kept. Oh, right, the Crystal Palace game, but they kept a clean sheet. They kept a clean sheet, and they went in with confidence against Man United. And look what they did. Yeah. They destroyed them, absolutely annihilated them. They bombarded them with everything, and they kept on going. They wanted to score more, and that's the old Liverpool. Yeah. They wanted to score more rather than settle, because when we went 3-0 up, I thought, we're just going to sit back now and let them come at us, and we'll get them on the counter-attack. No, we just went at them and at them and at them. And it's as simple as that.
I love that. I hope they keep that up.
Yeah. But anyway, I think we will. I think we will keep it up. And Brian Edley says, lads, remember the 5-0 at Old Trafford? Next week, we could beat Brighton. Surely not the same mistake. I call Gakpo the Dutch Del Ali. Shows how I know. Says what I know.
Dele Alli still,
But we were all like that, Brian.
Dele Alli.
But we were all like that. So don't be, saying, what do I know? That's what do we all know. Because, what was seen in Gakpo by the scouting lads and everybody else, and saying, well, we need him in now. Mm-hmm. Everything's coming to fruition now. After a few games, after a few, cold games that he was given and not showing much, then all of a sudden he's clicking, he's starting to click, and the lad can only get better, which is better for us, for the running of the season.
Yep.
And Soulboy Fran, Gakpo needed time. There were signs early on, but watch him go now. And when Diaz and Jota, yeah. And that's the beauty of what Liverpool are all about now. Look at our forwards. As you mentioned at the beginning about Jota, he's there. He's on a bench. He's on the bench. You could even start Jota. You could even start him, because Jota is a very clever forward. He's a very clever player.
Mm-hmm.
But there's Nunes, and when you look at Nunes, you know, they call him Captain Chaos, and he does cause chaos no matter what. And he's lightning fast. He's lightning fast. And so is Mo lightning fast. But what I seen of Gapco, the way he took his second goal, the way he ran the full, more or less the full length of the pitch. And when he passed it out to where, Mo, as we've been discussing, he kept on running, and he timed his run perfectly. And the passing, or the pass from Salah to him was just unbelievable. The weight of it, the timing of it, and it was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
And we talked about this after the derby. That was finally, that pass and flow football, that 1-2 touch and go football that we've been so used to, but we haven't been able to see, either due to injuries or, with Mane gone and people just needing time to adjust or do whatever, when balls are a yard behind the guy or into his feet, you can't just get up and go with it. And we saw that the derby and Sunday really exemplified that.
It did exemplify, yeah.
To get back to that type of football that we're used to seeing from Liverpool.
Yes, it was the same team on Sunday that we'd seen, or the same play that we'd seen last season, the season before, and the season, you could go on for the last few years.
Yeah.
What kind of football that we're capable of.
Yeah. And I gotta love the way Nunez celebrated with the crowd, was giving the big hearts out to everybody, banging, on the badge and all that. So, because I think he also was as frustrated as the supporters were when he first started.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
of course. And he's still got that. He's still got that South American mentality, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Did you see when Gapco scored the first? Or was it the second? I don't know what one it was. I think it was the second when he ran into the cop and he just grabbed him. The crowd grabbed Gapco. And then Nunez ran over and he grabbed him as well.
Yeah.
I
don't know what Gapco and Nunez are doing, like with the little hair twirl and the underarm thing. Somebody's gonna have to explain that to me. I don't know what that was, but
it was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it was just magnificent. Just magnificent.
All around fun day at the office for the whole crew.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Brian Edley says, more like Mo on Sunday, never doubted his goals, of course, but running at players, he was brilliant.
Yeah.
He was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, everybody just nonstop.
Yeah.
That really was heavy metal football.
It was heavy metal football. It certainly was. They were just pounding. They were pounding at them. From the first whistle, they were pounding and pounding. Man United came in. Well, everybody expects any team, whether it's Man United or anybody, Bournemouth, anybody, Brentford, Brighton, anyone. They have to have a portion of the game where, they're trying to play the football.
Yeah.
And I think Rashford should have scored. The ball got stuck at his feet, and it was like a pass back. It was like a pass back. It was shocking. And Bruno Fernandes, when he dived, that header, and it just went past, and they were the only really two chances they had, in my opinion.
Yeah. Both in the first half, and after that, nothing.
Nothing. And I'm glad you said that, because in the second half, because what you had a bunch of players. They were like an alehouse team, a pub team.
Yeah.
And when that second goal went in, their heads went. They just went completely. But anyway,
you give that up within the first minute. I mean, they're probably thinking, okay, we had a decent showing in the first half, couple of chances. We give up the one late goal. Hey, we can get right back in this thing. Nope.
Yes.
We did not allow that to happen.
Yeah.
And I think Ten Hag got the tactics wrong. I think, like you said, especially getting that quick second half goal and then the third goal, I mean, heads were down and they checked out. And I would never have expected that from a Man United side ever. And just to totally give up like they did. But
absolutely.
We took advantage of it. We, just said, okay, you guys don't want to play. We'll keep playing. We'll keep coming at you.
Well, as Stephen Snape says, we'll start winning by large margins when we get a midfielder or two. Nothing finer than putting them in their place. And there isn't nothing finer by putting them in the place. There isn't. Because you had their fans were saying, and even pundits, Liverpool are on the decline, and there's, United on the rise again. And what other people are saying as well? What other people are saying? They're saying, well, they've been lucky. I'm talking about United here. They've been lucky in games, especially in the Carabao Cup final, where Newcastle were by far the better side, being this great side on the rise. And I think that's proved it. You've only got to look at some of the games that they've been heavily defeated. Manchester City scored 6. Brentford scored 4 against them. So they have been getting beaten heavily.
And I don't know if you guys were able to see it over there. I'm sure you did. But Souness felt really confident going in Sunday on the pre-match coverage. And Keane and old Ratface kind of chuckled at him. And, Graham had the last laugh for sure.
Yeah. Paul Burke says, good evening, Frank and boys. Sorry, late on parade, but one swallow doesn't make a summer. Also, listen to Stephen Warnock saying the majority of Reds support FSG. Really? No, they don't. I'll be talking about that. I'll be coming back to that later on, Paul. Definitely got to talk about what they said, what John Henry said in a statement.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to read it, but I did see this morning that the Echo had some sort of exclusive sit down with him. I don't know how extensive it was. Like I said, I couldn't get an opportunity to read it. So I'd be interested to go back and take a look and see what that was all about.
Well, I'll go back to it. After we go through a couple of comments, and also, we have to talk about Gakpo because we've spoken about Mo. Talk about Gakpo, and we talk about Nunes as well and their contribution. So Brian Edley says, Tag underestimated us. Imagine going to Anfield and doing that Well, they do, don't they? I always remember when Liverpool, Fernando Torres, even Joshina, when he played for us, he scored. Steven Gerrard a penalty and a fantastic free kick from Aurelio when we beat them 4-1 at Old Trafford. And Ferguson came out and said the best team lost. And I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
That's what, and that rankles with Liverpool fans. And even, Gary Neville, he turned around, didn't he, and said, we were the better side in the first half. Yeah, what? What? Are you serious? Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, you can't underestimate Liverpool at Anfield. You cannot. You cannot.
I was going back and looking at some of the post-match analysis shows, and the one with Michael Owen and Paul Scholes. They had Owen Hargreaves on and John Barnes talking about it, and Scholes said, "Yeah, Ten Hag was definitely exhibited a lot of naivete about how he came in thinking about the match and his starting 11, and I mean, he definitely bottled it."
Oh yeah, I think they all bottled it. To be honest, they all bottled it. Every one of those players, and that's the first time that the guy has had 7 put past him.
And
it was
I don't even think,
as
even
well.
in the Champions League match the other day, when we kind of fell apart in the second half, I didn't see us, our guys, just kind of throwing in the towel mentally.
No.
I don't think you would ever see Liverpool do that. And these guys were just totally checked out.
Okay. Let's see what everyone's saying. Well, hang on. No. Let's see. The Mancs are awful, Frank. I'll just leave it. Steve Evans is on Thursday.
Hey, Steve, how are you?
Jeff Goulden and Ian Golder. Them 3 are on. And Brian Headley says, just hope all good recent results doesn't make these so-called owners look like the best. They need to go ASAP. We'll be coming back to that. Brian. Believe you me, we'll be coming back to that. And Steve Evans says, Gapco and Nunes are getting better with each game and clicking in as a front 3 with Mo. Don't forget Jota, Bobby still in the mix, and Diaz coming back. Absolutely, and this is everything going into the final furlong, shall we say, of the season. It's going in, and Liverpool are always strong going into the final third. Don't you agree, Dennis?
And yeah, and one thing, Steve, I'll also agree with. I like the fact that they're not rushing Jota back. They're letting him come off the bench because he was down with a pretty serious injury for a while. But the fact that you're going to have Diaz back, you still have Bobby through the end of the season, and this front 3 part 2 that they're really getting it going in gear. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let those guys come in off the bench and put in a shift and just put it in cruise control and see where it goes, because it's going in a really good direction right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Stephen Snape says the studio afterwards with Kenny's daughter showed Gary Neville for what he is, a puerile sore loser. Julian Carr's smear was as wide as the Mersey.
I still
caviar, as he says.
I love that picture that Jamie took of him and Neville after the 6th one. Oh, comedy gold.
It is. The Who's Two says, all right, Frank, reckon we were better without Thiago playing, slows things down, does Thiago. What do you think of that, by the way?
Yeah, there were certain games when I thought, okay, we're finally going to get a real glimpse of what this guy's about. And then other times it seemed like he was kind of just running around for the sake of running around. I don't know exactly what role he was trying to play in the midfield. And he didn't really seem to be able to, talk about putting the pass a yard or 2 behind the guy or into his feet. That seemed to summarize Thiago's game before he went down. He just,
do you think then he's
just off of it.
Do you think then he's a bit of a luxury player, as we call them?
Yeah. And I personally would, I don't know if they might try, he might be on the chopping block this summer if they can figure out. I don't know exactly who all is going to be available this summer midfield wise, but that's going to be, I think, some of the dead weight that's going to get let go, along with Ox and some of the other usual suspects.
Oh, don't even mention them, please.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to ruin the mood.
Yeah, sure. Let's be positive mentioning them. Stephen Smith says 5 clean sheets in the last 5 games, plus yesterday's result can only breed confidence. And that's absolutely right. Absolutely spot on there. Steve Evans, imagine we finish above Man United again. That Divi Neville will disappear again. Once a rat boy, always a rat boy. There's no holding back with Steve Evans. There's no holding back. He just says it as it is. He just says it. But this is a good point. We was just talking about Thiago before. And Paul Burke says, and he has said this, I know Paul, and he said this for a long time, and he said about Thiago weeks ago, Frank, we bought him 5 years too late. And he's right. He's spot on. We did buy him for 5 years too late. But, you know, he's a great player. There's no taking that away from Thiago. He's absolutely brilliant player. But is he suiting our type of system? Because as someone said, I think it was Zeus too, you know, he slows the game, and he does slow the game down. You can see it. You've seen that yesterday.
Yeah.
Not yesterday. Sunday. We were so quick.
Mm-hmm.
We were so quick. And that was Liverpool at its best.
Yeah.
At the best. So quick. And Brian Ellis says spot on about Thiago. He says spot on about Thiago.
No, yeah, you're right, Brian. I don't see him. Again, assuming everybody stays healthy, you're right. I don't see him getting another start.
Do you know, like getting back to midfield before, before we go on to before we go on to Cody Gakpo and the other fella, Nunes.
Yeah, because I got to leave in about 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
Have you got to leave?
Yeah, in about 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be on my own.
I'm going to try to hop online from the phone in my car.
Oh, good. Okay. No, well, that's fine. I'll just read out all these wonderful comments. Just before you go, when I say, I forgot to mention it actually. When I said to you, when you seen that midfield, and you said that you were surprised that you seen Harvey Elliott in the side, who did you expect to be playing in his place? I'll tell you who I thought. Batacek.
Yeah.
Because he's been
had a good
brilliant.
Run of games too, but I mean, those two kids have just been absolutely the surprises of this half of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, Elliott's always been kind of like, you're wondering, all right, he's getting the time. It's obvious Klopp likes him. When's the switch going to fully click on for him?
Yeah.
And it has. And Batacek, that kid totally came out of the blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's acting like he's already been in, doing this for a couple of seasons. So it's just, I think, and they bring that energy, like you said, it's so critical for Liverpool to have that high energy football, and they help provide that.
Well, that's what I said to you before. This game, it made him into a man. In other words, it made him into a man rather than a young kid running about.
Yeah.
Because in the second half, especially, and if he keeps that form up, absolutely brilliant. And as Brian Edley says, I can't see him starting a game again this season, and that's Thiago.
Yeah.
I can't see him starting a game. I think he will. I think he will start a game or come on as sub. He's bound to come on as sub. He's bound to play some part. to be. He's a great player, though. He really is. I'm not saying anything about him, really. We have never replaced Ronaldo, Frank, and 100%. That 100%. Because not only didn't we replace him, Gini Ronaldo was always fit. He was hardly ever injured.
Yeah.
And when we allowed him to go, it sickened me, really. But I thought that we had someone to replace him. And as Steve Evans says, we never replaced him. And it's as simple as that.
And look how that move worked out for him as well. Yeah. It didn't at all.
I think once you leave Liverpool, I think your head goes down. I really do. I think your head goes down. He didn't want to leave Liverpool. He just wanted to rise.
Yeah.
He just wanted to rise. And Jenny, I thought he was great for us. I really did. Yeah. And the way he was underrated, the work he got through was unbelievable. And he scored goals. Yeah. And he scored goals out of the midfielders. Great team performance, Frank. Thought Elliott was brilliant, says Paul Burke. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And as Brian Edwards said, of course he'll come on as sub, of course he will. Brian Fennell, well said, it took Frodo a while, but he slowly cemented himself in the midfield rotation. Kudos to Elliott. Yeah. Frodo. Frodo. I was criticising him. What game was it? Brian was on the show. I think it was I forget what game it was. Was it the Crystal Palace game? I forget what game it was. And he had an open goal, with his head. He has an open goal. He only hit it like that. And I said, his curls would have got in there, ruffled up. That's why he tried to flick it down with his, the side of his head. Missed the open goal.
Well, guys, I got to head to my car. Hopefully I can hop back on in a minute or two.
Okay. I'll just go through these until you get back. Okay? Thank you, Janet. See you later. Cheers. Ciao. Soulboy Fran, he says, Thiago stays for me. There's too many ways than in to go. Absolutely. Absolutely. No one's said, for him to go, to be honest. Soulboy Fran. But no one's asked him to, no one said, we got to see the back of him. But he does... he just tends to slow the game down. He's a brilliant footballer. And as I said to Dennis before, is he that sort of player that we call a luxury player? No, people are saying that he won't start another game, but you never know with our midfield. All right, we're all on cloud 7, shall we say, because of Sunday. But then again, it's the form, isn't it? It's the form. And I think he will. I'll tell you what, lads, let me know why Carvalho has been left out, because at the end of the game, you see him, and everybody's made up at the end of the game, and you just see him sitting there, miserable, more or less saying, well, why couldn't I go on for the last few minutes? So just have a think of that. What's happened to Carvalho, young Carvalho? Steve Evans says, can join if you want, Frank. Get Jason to send the link. I will do right away. Thank you. Thanks, Steve. Thank you. I'll get Jason to do this. So I won't be a minute. I'll get Jason. I'm sorry about this, people. I hope you get the link in. I hope you get the link in. I've just sent him the message there anyway, Steve. Hang on. Where am I here? Right, let's see. Stephen Snape says, high energy demands young players playing for a manager who can motivate. Hopefully, the inclusion of some in their late 20s alongside them will produce durability and, crucially, consistency. That's a very good point, because we just don't need 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds. We need fellas in the mid-20s. That's who we need as well. Besides, people. I was going to mention about. I hope Steve Evans comes on here because of the statement coming out by John Henry today. What you think of it? The statement. I know my thoughts, and I've got very deep thoughts as well about what he came out with. And once he said reasonable, once he used the terminology reasonable, and when you get that reasonable, when you define it of what he said, it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up from what we want, in other words. Let's see what Brian Fennell says. I'm now asking if he was a Klopp buy. Think Cavallo could be gone by the summer. It wouldn't surprise me, actually. It would not surprise me. And they'll make a small profit, I reckon. They'll make a small profit. Because if you think that the owners are going to say the big pot of gold to Jurgen, say, well, yeah, buy who you need. No, that's not going to happen. That is not going to happen, because they've allowed what we're going through now. They've allowed that without investment. In 4 years, one midfielder. And you can't blame Klopp. You really can't blame him. You cannot blame Klopp. So who do you blame? You've got to blame the investment for not bringing them in. Hang on a minute. Paul Burke says, I would join Frank, but not good on this computer, lark. Neither am I. That's why Jason's the producer. Paul. Useless, baby self. Absolutely dreadful. I am. I'm all right talking about history and literature and things like that, but any IT, finished, mate. Absolutely finished. I've got Steve Evans coming on now. I've got him on. I tried to get on, Paul. Just try and get on. A link could be sent to you. Jason will send you the link. And there he is.
Can you hear me?
There's the man himself. Yeah, I can hear you and everything.
Hang on, my audio's a bit rubbish, mate. Hang on.
No, it's good. I can hear you. Yeah, he's gone missing. Stephen Snape says, Cavallo was a big fish at Fulham. Now he's in a far bigger pool. Maybe Klopp doesn't fancy him, and his ego has taken a knock, and Klopp's getting the kid's head right. Yeah, let's hope that he does. I wouldn't like to see him go. I really would not like to see Cavallo go. I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't.
He'll go out on loan, Frank.
Yeah. Okay, Steve. Now I'm just going to get back. Right. Paul Burke says, they are kidding us, Frank. They are kidding us. Who are they?
FSG.
So what did you think of today's statement, Steve? John Henry coming out.
I told you today what I thought of it.
I know you did. But I'd like you to tell the people, but don't swear, please. Don't swear.
Can't I swear? No. I'm joking.
I know you're not.
Basically, well, unless I read it wrong, mate, that basically said to me, Jürgen, the midfield that you want, you're not getting it. Unless you sell. And who are we going to sell anyway?
Well, do you know what I've always said? And I hate saying this. I really hate saying it. And I've been saying it. And you know what the players I've mentioned as well. Because I said, even before, I said, if FSG are still the owners come summer, this is why they was selling. I said to you it was a ploy to see what the reaction was with the fans. And don't forget, January, you know, we would have been on their backs, but we thought that he was selling. And then after the January sales with no money, you know, they came out and said, oh, we're not selling now. And that's how snidey they are. They're very sly. They're a very sly bunch of owners. And we needed investment in January. We needed to buy a couple of midfielders. Anyway, that aside, when they came out and said they were not selling, and this statement today was a disgrace. It really was a disgrace. And again, it's a sell to buy policy. It's a sell to buy policy. And I've always said, if they're in charge in the summer of Liverpool Football Club, our club, mine and yours, and all the lads out there, they will sell Mo Salah because they can get money for him. They can get a lot of money for him. And also the most sellable player. And everybody would want this fella. Everybody. Ancelotti was saying, I'd love him in my team. Man City. No, not him. No. Trent Arnold. Because Pep came out months ago and said, for a fullback or a defender to pass balls like that, I wouldn't mind him in my team. And Ancelotti more or less said the same.
Yeah.
Ancelotti. So they're the most sellable players to draw or, you know, to bring money in so that we can buy. Because it goes like back to the Torres days, doesn't it? When he was sold.
Yeah. Problem that you've got, there's too many people who support FSG, Frank. Still.
Yeah, well, see, what they think is that they saved us. There's no way they saved us. There's no way. You know, the Royal Bank of Scotland said they would have never have folded. They had too much collateral. So, you know, that's a nonsense. And there was other buyers as well, wanting to buy Liverpool besides those lot.
Well, you know this money that Redbird put in?
Yeah, the 600.
And took back out. Is that what they used to buy AC Milan? Isn't it?
Well, the thing is, FSG bought an ice hockey team, didn't he? And didn't he buy
I'm talking about Redbird. They put money into Liverpool as well, didn't he?
Oh, yes, 600 million.
Yeah. And the next thing they're buying AC Milan.
Exactly. But again, they wanted to up the stake, didn't they? This year, so they've still got that. Well, that 600 million plus, you know, was never taken out from them. But they wanted to up the stake. And they just, look, I've been saying this for a very long time. If you think about it, you've got the owners. They're asking, you know, for in investment, so millions, it'll be millions to put in. And the owners will turn around to the investors and say, well, listen, have you got 200 million to spare to give to, the manager? That's what they'll be saying. And, these investors will go, you what? No, we haven't.
That's it.
So there's no investment unless we sell. I mean, players, we sell players, or unless FSG decides for a full scale, because those Arabs wanted a full sale, didn't they?
Well, it's like Man U. They're up for sale, aren't they? The Glazers are looking for like £7-8 billion now. Whoever wants to buy them, they've upped it again.
Yeah.
That's what FSG will do. If someone comes in with a serious bid to buy Liverpool, they'll just bump the price up. FSG.
I think they have been.
That's what they're holding out for.
Of course, because they would never ever bring in the likes of Morgan, the big bankers over there. They would never have brought them in for a little investment.
No.
There's no way. But they have brought those big bankers in, those American bankers, unless it was
the proof will be in the pudding come the summer, Frank, won't it?
And that's going to be the dilemma. Okay, say they sell Mo Salah and Trent. Will they ever be replaced?
I wouldn't sell Trent.
Okay, why sell Mo? He's our leading goal scorer.
I'm not saying I'd sell Mo
every season.
If they're going to sell either of them, I'd say Mo's the one that they're going to sell.
Yeah. Oh, he's bound to go. And they'll be made up now. Oh, he's on a score, and he's scoring those goals because they haven't a clue what a goal is. Oh, he's scoring those goals. So the money is rising, every time he scores a goal, because he's going to be the leading goal scorer, as you know, this season. And Stephen Snape says FSG have hamstrung the best pound-for-pound manager in the world. Buy the expensive petrol and the car will perform more willingly. Yeah.
Madness, eh?
Yes, absolutely. And Paul Burke says, I will keep Cavallo ahead of Jones. I think that's why I seen the face on him, Cavallo's face. And he wasn't happy at all. And it's sad that the kids are sitting there.
Do you think he might have said something to Jürgen, and Jürgen just said, I'm just going to keep you on the bench? He might have opened his mouth. You don't know. You don't know what happens behind.
Well, we don't know. I'm being honest. We really don't.
But going back to like you just got mentioned, then Curtis Jones.
Yeah.
I'm in the camp that he's a championship player at best, Frank.
Yes.
He's a Premiership player.
Yeah.
And then he comes on, he shot too much.
But as Brian Edley says, I think Cavallo is a cracker. And there are people who prefer Cavallo over Jones.
Yeah. I like the kid. I like Cavallo.
I do myself.
Cracking little player.
Stephen Snape again says, good shout that, stay sending him out on loan. There you go.
Boost his confidence up, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Brian Edley, what do they say, lads? Brilliant steers on, good crack.
But if you're going to send Cavallo out on loan, don't send him to the Geordies. They'll ruin him.
I don't know.
He'll probably
only
he'll
Alan or Allison work for anything.
If he goes out on loan, like
Blackburn
or someone like that.
Yeah.
Like Elliot.
No, not Blackburn. No, you've got to send them
to go nowadays. Our players out on loan. Blackburn.
Yeah. See, you need to see that's again. It's like championship stuff, and we need more than championship stuff. We really do, if you know what I mean. Get your experience in the Premiership and come back to it.
If I was to send them to another Premiership team, do you know who I'd send them to? Brentford. He'd do all right there.
Or Brighton.
Yeah. Either of them two. He'd do all right with one of them.
Or even back to Fulham.
Maybe.
You never know. Charlie Wood says, doesn't anyone want the ox?
Nah, he's cat.
Doesn't anyone want the ox? Oh,
mate, he hasn't been the same player. He hasn't been the same player since that injury against Roma.
No. I think Jürgen and the backroom staff, I think they should have got rid of him a couple of years ago, Steve. I think they should have got rid of him a couple of years ago.
He's going to end up back at Southampton, him. Something like that.
Yeah, good shout there.
Or maybe at a push, maybe someone like West Ham. But
would you like that Declan Rice in midfield?
I think he's massively overrated.
Okay. No, because when you said about Oxlade, going down to the likes of West Ham, maybe they could have been a deal done.
Yeah. But the putting all their eggs in the Bellingham basket, aren't they?
But we need more than Bellingham.
And he's going to be, what, 130 million?
130. We need a centre-half.
Are we going to spend that? Well, the centre-half we're getting linked with is going to cost 120.
See, look, Steve, you're getting people saying, they're saying, oh, look, the FSG did spend money when we bought, Nunes. Hang on. How much did they get for Manny and a few other players? That all went into the pot to buy Nunes. And he was only 64 million.
How much did we get for Manny? It was about 40 million, wasn't it?
I think it was like 36 or something like that. Then you had the other little cells, and that brought in the money there. The net spend is dreadful, and people are made up by saying, "Well, we're in the black, so what?"
Well, apparently, didn't you say last week they only made 7.5 million last year?
Yeah,
that's rubbish. That.
It's like a Manchester City thing, isn't it? That's what I mean, As you know what I call them the washing machine. Because they launder the money and they spin they spin everything why players want to go. He wanted to go. I'll never forget
Coutinho. They spend that much, I'm sure they got Alistair Campbell on the retainer,
Yeah, he's the spin merchants, wasn't he? For Blair, absolutely, and he was good at it.
Retainer, make they spin that much.
He was good at it as well. You've got to admit, Alistair Campbell. Brian Headley says this is the downside to getting good results. These tubes will settle for this. If they don't give Jürgen the money this time, then every single copite should stay away for good. We need to hit their pockets once and for all. No one will stay away from Liverpool, no matter who the owners are. And it's like anything else. Liverpool is such in high demand. They're in high demand across the globe. And if you could have, we got more support when we beat AC Milan in 2005 in Istanbul. They looked at Liverpool, oh, wow, look at this. And when the other day, when we beat Manchester United, I'm not talking about supporters most probably they've been supporting other teams, you know, and even Manchester United themselves and say, "Oh, I'm not supporting them. I'm talking about foreigners now. Oh, I'm supporting Liverpool because they're better than Manchester United because they beat them 7-0. You know, whether you live in the Philippines or anywhere else. And it's the same as everything else. I always remember a Chelsea supporter saying that he supported someone. He said, but Chelsea were winning. So I decided to support Chelsea. And this is the problem with foreign supporters. Not all of them, but some of them.
The biggest dilemma you got then, Frank, right? Say FSG do sell. Who do you want to buy? Definitely, I don't want dirty oil money.
No, are you talking about
more American bluffers?
No, I don't want Americans. I do not want Americans. The only American ads want, and I'll tell you who it is, and you might think I'm talking through my backside. Elon Musk. Because he's a big sport. But he's not he's not an American. He's a South African. And he owns satellites as well. So you give all our matches for free. We can get all our matches for free on the telly. It'll be great, wouldn't it?
He's a proper balloonhead, him.
No, he's brilliant. I think he's brilliant. Absolutely. He says it as it is. He says it as it is. He's like you. You say it as it is, and so does he.
I'm not like him. I haven't got any money.
No, he just says it as it is. He's been criticised and everything. Joe Biden and everyone. Get in there. He's up with that. For us to progress, we need a Coutinho every year, says Paul Burke. Yes. Yes. Totally agree with you there, Paul. Totally agree.
We need a ball winner. I mean, we need a passing merchant who's got pace.
Well, who's got pace, in your opinion?
Midfielder-wise?
Yeah.
We
don't need any forwards, by the way. We
keep getting linked with forwards.
I know. We need a centre back. We need a centre back.
Like 2 at the back and just have 9 forwards or something.
No. We need a centre back. That's who we need. Definitely need a centre back.
Well, the one we keep getting linked with is going to cost over 100 million quid. This Vardial. Pronounce it.
Yeah. We'll never get him. Just imagine trying to get him or getting him, right, along with Jude Bellingham and that Nunes lad.
We'll be better off buying someone.
Matthias Nunes.
Yeah, we'll be better off buying a centre half no one's heard of.
I don't know. I disagree with you. Do you mean like out of the Championship or something like that?
No.
Oh, I see.
Go look in Europe. Just get someone who just completely off the radar.
Yeah. There's a French lad called Brian Fennell knows. I always forget this fella's name. Kona, is it? Coney. Something like. Who?
You mean Koundé?
Yeah.
The one who plays for Sevilla?
That's him.
Yeah, they want about 100 million quid for him. Chelsea tried to buy him, didn't he?
I'd love him. I think he's brilliant, him.
He's a good player.
But Stephen Snape says, FSG never saved us. Our financial position was much healthier than some would have us believe. The Annie Road extension is all about feathering their own nest. They've made a fortune out of us. Of course they have. That's why they don't want to sell. And even, remember Mick Myers, the big blue? He turned around, he said, your owners will never sell because it's the biggest cash cow they've ever had.
Absolutely.
Liverpool.
Absolutely.
That's what he
Frank.
said. And that's an Evertonian saying.
Going back to the Annie Road, right? Do you remember when they said they weren't putting corporate boxes in?
Yeah.
That was another lie.
Yeah.
There's a load of them going in.
I know. Do you know what? Going back to that, I'll just go to what Charlie Wood says here before we go on to other stuff. Redbirds invested in FSG, not Liverpool. The thing is, as I just said, though, Charlie, they wanted a bigger stake in Liverpool. They said, we'll invest more. That's what they said. So that Redbirds, they did invest in Liverpool. Once that money went to FSG, you know, don't forget that they're a sporting company or organisation or whatever you want to call it. So that money as well went into Liverpool. We never seen a penny of it. And that's why they said we want a bigger stake in Liverpool than what they've got now. So they've got a stake in Liverpool.
Sorry, Frank, I've got one eye on the footy here as well. Sorry.
Oh, I knew that. I knew that.
I've got the sound in now.
You're coming on Thursday, aren't you, with goals? Me and Golder were talking before about Thursday, you know, and Jeff Goulden. Paul Beck says, Steve, can we afford to...
It'll be late by the time we get home from work, though, so like, it will be
yeah,
after 9 o'clock.
That's why I said 9, yeah. Paul Beck, this is for you, this. Steve, can we afford to wait until the summer? We're falling behind now. Look at our bench.
Well, we're going to have to wait till the summer because you can't buy anyone now anyway.
No.
So, for all the huffing and puffing, what we're saying, the club can't even do anything at the moment anyway. But they've had 2 or 3 transfer windows where they've known they should have bought midfielders and haven't bothered.
Well, I think that's what he meant.
They got one in on loan from Juventus who's turned out to be a crock. He lasted 13 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I think what Charlie said was this, Paul. Can we afford to wait, you know, till the summer? I think what he meant is, you know, in January. That's when we should have bought. I think he meant that, you know, could we afford to wait until the summer? No, we couldn't, because this is why we're languishing. And no matter what, you know, people are saying, you know, people will disagree with me with just saying that. But we're languishing from what we should have been.
Yeah.
If we would have invested, we should never have been like this, ever. We should have been, you know, Champions League football should have been well and truly consolidated for next season. We just missed out on a quadruple. You can't just fall like that. That's the lack of investment. And we knew that we needed investment. We knew that we needed midfielders. You said it, I said it, and everybody else said it. Brian Fennell says, which is why I say FXG have to buy Bellingham. We're on their gaslighting and bag of tricks. Whoever else comes in is down to sell to buy. It's as simple as that. And you know that. And
well, football's a different beast to like what we were used to, weren't we? When like every year we bring one player in to consolidate the squad.
Yeah.
These days you got to buy 2, 3, 4 maybe.
Yeah.
But as you say, we need a centre half. We need at least 2 midfielders.
We need 2. We need 2. That's minimum. I said minimum. I said 3 minimum.
Money to bring 3 players in.
Yeah. And that's why.
Or if they do, they're gonna spend cheap.
That's the problem, and that's what that statement was more or less saying today.
And we need to spend big.
Yeah.
We need to buy quality players, so we've got to spend big.
We'll have to buy Satisfactory, he said, didn't he? And those save Satisfactory, yeah, okay.
Yeah, obviously, John Henry's got another yacht that he wants to buy.
Yeah, of course.
Park up in the south of France.
And another $240 million baseball player.
And his missus must need another thingy job as well. I said thingy.
Yeah, of course. Come on, me little there. You know that I've got a bad chicken.
You want to stop that vaping, Frank? That doesn't help.
Maybe Cavallo.
I'm taking them dodgy blue pills as well, Frank. That doesn't help either, mate.
What?
Popping them blue pills, that doesn't help.
No, I don't pop any of them blue pills, you.
I'm only winding you up.
I know you're there.
Sorry, I couldn't resist, Frank.
Maybe Cavallo has made the same mistake as Sacco and Klopp's ignoring him. Truthfully, we're not privy to the full story. We never are.
No, you
never
never will.
Sacco. Yeah.
It's like the old days. I mean, everyone remembers the rumour about McMahon cracking nickel, breaking his jaw. Remember that one?
Say that again.
Do you remember the rumour about McMahon when he broke Steve Nichol's jaw?
Oh yeah. And
then there was the King Kenny.
Even Kevin Keegan and Jimmy Case rumour as well, if you remember.
Yeah.
Before he went to Hanover.
Yeah.
He chased him off the coach. Well, I knew I got to know Jimmy, and I said to him, I was on LFC TV with him a few times. And I said, was that straight that you and Keegan? He said, no. That's ridiculous. He said, papers make it. They've always made stories up about Liverpool, he said. Paul Burke says, have rice all day, mate, Frank. Well, there you go.
I didn't say I wouldn't take him. I just said I think he's overrated.
Who?
Rice. He's enough money.
I don't know. I like him myself. I like
Declan. How much is he going to cost, Frank?
Yeah, true.
40 million.
True. Could we do a swap deal with the Ox? Would you take him that way?
Do you know what? I'd give him the Ox, Keita, and a couple of quid.
And Curtis Jones.
A couple of quid for a taxi fare and go, yeah. Give me Declan Rice, baby.
Brilliant. FSG will do a swap deal. Ox for Walcott.
Yeah. I'm sure the football genius that David Moyes will love that.
Ox for Walcott. What's him coming here?
What?
Walcott.
Oh my God.
Exactly. Declan Rice would make a good partner for Curtis Jones playing for Stoke.
He's not on the ale over there, is he?
Listen to this one. Declan Rice would make a good partner for Curtis Jones playing for Stoke. Say Stephen Smith. Oh, blimey.
Yeah. I've got one for you. Swap deal, Keita for Bruno Fernandes.
Keita for Bruno Fernandes. He's a disgrace, him.
Isn't he just?
He's an absolute disgrace, that man. He's always been like that, though.
The captain's armband is beyond me.
But he's always been like that.
Yeah.
Shocking. Absolute shocking. Shocking of a player.
Do you know who his behaviour reminds me of?
Go ahead.
Yeah. He's a fellow countryman of his. And he plays on the other side of Manchester.
Portuguese.
Yeah.
I don't know who.
I'll give you a clue. When Man City had to line up and clap us when we won the league, and there was one of their players refused to do it. He had the cob on, he just like kicked the ground, just had his head down, wouldn't clap.
I'm lost.
Bernardo Silva.
Bernardo Silva.
That
Didn't he clap us?
reminds
No.
me of the way he behaves.
Didn't he clap us? No.
No.
I said no. That.
I think one of his teammates had a wave and he just looked the other way.
Didn't know that. Paul Burke says to stay at the top of the table, oil money is the only way. That's true, that. No matter how you look at it. That's true.
I don't know. Well, my phone's going to die soon, Frank. I haven't got my charger with me.
Well, the fickle nature of modern society dictates that a club like ours will attract fly-by-the-night supporters. They are just idiots who don't understand loyalty to a cause like us. I watched a film with Liam Neeson in it, and it's only like what Stephen Snape was saying there. And he's a snow shifter, and his son gets killed. Murdered.
I know the one you mean.
And when a hitman, he wants to hire a hitman, doesn't he, to take out this other fella? Yeah. And the hitman comes along, and he says, "Well, yeah, give me the money, give me half of the money, or whatever." And he takes half of the money, and then he goes to the fella he was supposed to hit, and he says, "If you give me like whatever, 50 grand or whatever, I'll tell you who wants me to hit you." So he gets the name off him, and he ends up killing him. He said, "Where's your loyalty? Where is your loyalty?" And this is what he's saying: the fickle nature of modern society dictates that a club like ours will attract fly-by-night supporters.
Well, you get a lot of footballers who are like that who've got no loyalty these days.
Of course. Mercenaries.
Yeah, you got some of these young kids. You got some of these young kids who play for these teams and they're on like grands and grands a week and they're just going out and buying top-of-the-range Ferraris and stuff like that. And you're thinking, you're 18 or 19 years old. What are you doing driving on a top-of-the-range Ferrari for? Yeah.
There's Brian.
I think there's way too much money in football. Some of the wages they get scandalous.
Yeah. I'd go along with that, but let's see what Brian Fennell's got to say. And, you know, he's coming to a good one there. He said, no more American owners. Now, Brian's an American, as you know. And as he says, sorry, just no. No more American owners.
All right. Okay, Brian, can we have Canadian? Will that do?
And he says, we do need one more forward, someone who can play on the right. Kolo Muani is that? Kolo Muani.
Oh, he's the only plays in Germany, isn't he? I think he scored a goal in the World Cup finals, if I remember rightly.
And Coney is a defensive mid, Mönchengladbach.
Yeah.
Coney. I think he's good. French lad. I think he's brilliant myself. But we won't get him.
We're getting linked with that many players, Frank, anyway. It's like playing footy manager.
Yeah. Bring back Jimmy Tiori, says Brian Edley.
No more back heels.
I tell you what, though, I watched the, when you see the old like games and he saved us. He gave the first goal away when he fouled Kaka, didn't he, you know?
Yeah.
And then he saved us. I think Shevchenko hit a ball and it was going in the corner, kicked us off the line. A few minutes to go. To Jimmy. Terrible there, left back. But then again, he got a championship win, didn't he?
That's it. Well, my phone's about to die now, Frank, so I'll have to shoot off.
All right, thanks a lot, Stay.
No,
So see you on Thursday. See you Thursday.
You will.
Cheers, mate.
Take care, Frank. Ta-ra, mate.
Yeah. Ta-ra, mate. Ta-ra. So there's Steve Evans gone. You've got me now. You've got me. He'd be a great signing, Kawande, as a centre-back who also plays right-back. Well, that's a good shout there, Brian. It really is a good shout. I put it up wrong there. Yeah, he'd be a great signing, Kawande. It's a centre-back who also plays. That's a very good shout. And as Paul Burke says, probably build another shop to accompany the new boxes. Most probably. Get one on each corner, yeah. On each side of the ground. I don't think... does anyone agree with me here? I've only got like 10 minutes to go. The ground, the new stand, do you think it'll be ready for August? I don't. We're in March now. All the brickwork has to be done. All the inside has to be done. The old roof has to be taken off. All the seats have to be put in. Then all the interior fittings, I think, has to be working. Does anybody think that'll be all done for August? I don't. Because I watch it every day. You've got to put another couple of more stanchions on. Well, not stanchions, but, you know, they've got to fill the roof. Take the roof, the old roof away. All the brickwork, everything has to be done. Everything. Right. Let's see. How much did American basketball player put in the... I don't know. I haven't a clue, Charlie. But he made... You're talking about LeBron James. In his first year, he's got 2% share. I think it was just because he wore the shirt. But anyway, in his first season or first year annual stake, he made £31 million. 31 million he walked away with. Think about that. Do you think that he'd want to take his little stake out? Don't think so, do you? And I think these are some of the problems Liverpool have. Lads, 200 million and we will be an unstoppable machine for years. That's a good point, that. It's a good point. Fernandez is one gutless snake. One gutless snake. It's how you view him, isn't it? It's how you see him. It's how you view him. He's just horrible. To me, he's just horrible. Silver says Stephen again. No, he doesn't. That's Brian Edley, Silver. Just go through these. Stephen Snape says, Raheem Sterling is another example of obscene duplicity. Raheem Sterling wanted to stay at Liverpool, you know, Stephen. He wanted to stay. And he was forced out by Rodgers. Telling you that for nothing. Believe me, he was. He actually came out and said, didn't he, when Rodgers was sacked? He said, I would have stayed at Liverpool if I knew that he was going to be sacked. The lad said, Raheem Sterling. Sorry, guys, my reception has been wonky the whole drive home. We'll have to catch you on Thursday, says Dennis Papa. Okay, Dennis, safe driving, if you're still listening to me. Soulboy Frank, no forwards required. You will stop the likes of Joe coming through. Yeah, we don't need forwards. And the likes of young Joe, he's going to be phenomenal, that lad. He's going to be phenomenal. And for me to say that, it's very hard. I've seen the lad play. He's absolutely brilliant. 17. Just imagine, like 7 years ago, he's still a little 10-year-old kid going to school. 7 years on, he's playing for Liverpool. Just think about that. Incredible. But I agree with you there, Soulboy. I really do. Good shout, that. Good shout. And Stephen Snape says, Muzalewski in the under-21s is a cracking prospect as a forward. Muzalewski. I can't say. Brian Everly says, hang on, let's see. The King Kenny's face on Sunday, unreal, on his 72nd birthday, yeah. Yeah. Did you see Ferguson as well? I'll tell you who else was there. Jaap Stam. Was that how he felt? Jaap Stam was there, obviously being invited over by Man United. Unless he still lives in around the Manchester area, I don't know. Big Yap. But he was gutted as well. We could get a right back, Sasha Bowie, cheaply out of Turkey. French under 21, who marauds down the flank, can move Trent into mid. That's what a lot of people are saying. That's what a lot of people are saying. But they never mentioned a right back. And what they actually said, Brian, and you know this, is that Calvin Ramsey. But to me, Calvin Ramsey, that's always injured, and he hasn't. You know, we've only known him since the summer, and he's injured, constantly injured. And do we need another, injury-prone player to come into Liverpool? We've had enough of them. We've had enough of injury-prone players. We mentioned Thiago. Thiago's injury-prone as well. We've got that many injury-prone players. It's unbelievable. Still in the squad. Can't see it being ready, mate, says Brian Everly. Neither can I. That's the stand. Because I watch these drone things, giving you a view of it. The glass has got to be put in as well. Big sheets of glass. I can't see. I really cannot see it being ready. Really can't see it. And other sections for the seating area as well, I've noticed. They've got to be put in. Dennis Paparak says, just pulling in, almost ran over a turtle because he lives in Tampa Bay, you see. Do you ever remember that Amy Taylor at the Crossroads? Oh, why was you not sent out for? Yeah, that's that Bruno, isn't it? Why wasn't he not sent off for pushing the linesman? Yeah, you're right there, Charlie. I think something will happen, but mind you, it's Manchester United, so most probably nothing will happen. Just like the neighbours, Manchester City. We scored 7 in an acknowledgement of our King's birthday, says Stephen Smith. Well, 7 months in, you mean? 7 months with being a king. Oh, Charlie's going. Well, like Frank and all the gang, may your God go with you. Time to have a nightcap, Frank, says Charlie Cairns. Charlie Cairns now will be having his gold's watch, as he says. It's just like that. Take it easy, Chad, says Brian Edley. Stay safe. That's lovely. That's lovely. That's me, Frank. Another great chat with fellow Reds. Cheers, says Paul Bay. And I'm going to end on this. Steve Evans, back. Not enough battery to sustain video. Good to join you, though. That's nice. I made up with that, Steve, because when Dennis went, I was left on my own. But on Thursday, I've got Steve Evans, Jeff Goulden, and Ian Golder. I've got them on, those 3, and it'll be good. Francine, she was supposed to come on tonight, but unfortunately she couldn't make it, and Tommy Batty, they couldn't make it. Francine, she said, Dad, I'm really tired because she's been working all day and whatever. So, but I'll have it on anyway. She said I'll come on next week, Dad, I promise you. So she'll be with me next week. And Brian Edley says, Frank, I have to say this. Thank you very much. This was a great show tonight. Thanks to you, buddy, and everyone. Before I go, think of Fernandez was doing his best to get sent off. He didn't want to be involved. He knew what was coming. Long live our king, number 7, Sir Kenny Dalglish. Thanks, everyone. Brilliant show. Really appreciate that. And it's just for me to say now is a big thank you to everyone. Boss shows, ranting all things Red, chaps. Take care, everyone, and see you Thursday. Up the mighty Reds, you'll never walk alone, says Stephen Sneap. So I'll end on that. I've just got to thank you for joining in. Don't forget, subscribe and like. Just get the algorithm out there because it just sends it out. Thank you so much for joining me. And see you all on Thursday evening. And for the ordinary show, I'll see you on Friday. And just for me to thank Jason Pennington for the show. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'll see you all very, very soon.